Jackie, thank you so very much for coming to see us today. Well, as you know, we are doing an event on the 18th of September with the Lunar Society, of which you were the former chair. I am now the new chair, Deirdre Labassiere. And this is going to be the second in a series of three events that we're doing. Our first was the changing of the care workforce, which was a fantastic event. The second is the opportunities and challenges of aging, which is going to be held at the University of Birmingham on the 18th of September at 5:30 p.m. And we're hoping to get some kind of fantastic turnout of older and younger people. And we are thrilled and delighted to have you on board, and that you will be chairing in your capacity as the chair of the University of Birmingham Hospitals NHS Foundation Trust. Have I got that right?
Yes, yes.
Brilliant! I can deserve a round of applause for that. And of course, you are the former Home Secretary, and you've been chair of the Lunar Society, as I've mentioned. So thank you very much for coming.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. At that event, you are going to be joined by three eminent panelists. One is Karen West, who is the professor in the School of Policy Studies at the University of Bristol. Her thing is all about ageism and thinking beyond ageism. We also have Alison Beecham, who is the CEO of Age UK Birmingham and Sandwell. And Alison is very much interested in crimes against older people, and of course the very topical rise of the pension state age. And we are so thrilled and so happy to have a woman named Sheila Robinson. Now, you may not have heard of her now, but you will know of her after this event. Sheila is a woman who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2010, and she's actually a resident of Housing 21, who is sponsoring this event. And Sheila is a fantastic proponent for the rights of older people and supports dementia, people living with dementia. And she's quite an amazing stalwart person. So you will certainly enjoy meeting her. So thank you so much, Jackie.
I'm really looking forward to it, Deirdre, and well done to you and to Housing and Care 21 for sponsoring these events, because these are some of the sort of really important issues that we need to get a discussion going about. And I'm also, I'm delighted that the title is The Opportunities and the Challenges of Ageing, because sometimes I think there are all sorts of issues around ageing, which I'm sure we'll touch on in the debate. Pensions, as you said, the pressure on the health services, as we understand, crime and other things. But actually, I think we should see the fact that we've got an ageing population, or more people living longer, as both the success of the NHS and a real opportunity, both for those individuals and for society as a whole.
Absolutely. I think the issue is fundamentally that people think that age is a number, and they pigeonhole people within those numbers, and society will just react to individuals based on what they perceive of them, and they will treat them accordingly. So it's wonderful, because this debate will touch on development trends, it'll touch on socioeconomic issues, and I'm hoping that we'll even look at cultural differences that occur in different countries. And I remember that during your tenure as the chair of the Lunar Society, one of the things that you really wanted to touch on was artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. So, we're living in an age, no pun intended, where we are having to live with and alongside technology, and we need to consider how that technology will support older people to live meaningful, effective, and flourishing lives, or indeed could it be a hindrance to someone? So yes, very, very much looking forward to that debate. So as I mentioned that age is just a number. So what, in your opinion, how do you see age and the aging process?
Well, first of all, I think it's, as you said, it's enormously multifaceted, isn't it? And so it's about how we, obviously there are issues for government around pensions, around the provision of services. And certainly we know at University Hospitals Birmingham that we're seeing more and more people who are living longer, big success of the NHS, but actually quite often they're then living with a range of different conditions, which need to be managed both by the health service and by ourselves. So there are those issues about how we provide for people as they get older. There are all the questions then about what does that mean about the relationship between the proportion of people you've got working and the proportion of people who perhaps are post-work or retired. That's a larger proportion of people who perhaps are needing resources being spent on them rather than being productive. But actually, of course, there are very many. I'm 56 now, and I can't. Thank you. Right response. And I can't imagine. This is a personal thing for me. I can't imagine not working. I feel healthy. I feel able to work. So I want to actually carry on working and being productive for much, much longer. So I think we're going to see much older people in the workplace, but we're also going to see people who actually aren't able to continue so long. And what sort of support are we going to provide for them? How are we going to see the balance between leisure and work with people as they get older? I think I've got friends who go on the most amazing holidays, for example, and they're lucky to be able to do that. But it's a sign of the fact that, as you say, we can't lump everybody together. Getting older doesn't necessarily mean that you're weakened and you're less able to do things. For some people, it's a bit of a liberation.
Absolutely. And you touched on older people in work, and the government and the private sector need to come together to ensure that the right policies are created, that the right procedures are in place to support them, and indeed, whether or not the UK as a whole is or could be culturally ageist, and whether those sorts of societal patterns start to seep into the workplace. And actually, House of 21 is having a conference on the 18th of October looking at exactly that issue. Is the United Kingdom institutionally ageist? And I think it's a question that we need to address.
Really interesting, because I think, when people are thinking about their opportunities as they get older, what you don't want is somebody to make assumptions about you based on your age. And I think increasingly when we're seeing either sort of formal cut-offs or times when you sort of have to finish work, despite changes that have been made to the law to enable people to continue working, that's a problem. Or when, there are assumptions made about how, whether or not, because you're older, you perhaps won't want quite so much responsibility and you'll want to. Now, some people will want to, and I think this is what workplaces need to think about. Some people will say, okay, the years when I've worked 5 days a week and all the extra time, actually I want to work slightly less because I want to be able to do other things, or because I don't have quite the amount of energy or sort of just sheer commitment that I had previously. But I've still got a massive amount to offer.
Absolutely.
So how are we going to enable people to do that?
Absolutely.
Because I think, one of the other issues I'm sure that we're going to touch on in the debate is this thing about loneliness. And, for quite a lot of people, as they get older, if you do actually, finish work and perhaps you're not quite able to do some of the activities you were doing previously, it can become an extraordinarily lonely time. So what can we do to make sure that actually, as people get older, they're not cut off from social links, from activities and all the things that all of us, I know, would hope that we'd be able to carry on.
Absolutely. And I think that there is that cultural element there of how we as a society help and support our older people as well. Because loneliness, by its very definition, is being one and being alone. So we need to be surrounding our older people and perhaps engaging in intergenerational aspects as well, because then there's that educational element that will support as well.
I'm really lucky to work at the hospital with Zoe Worker, who did a lot of the stuff around the TV program about the older people and the nursery and bringing them together. And that's, as you say, you know, sometimes actually perhaps what you want to do is you want to spend time with people who are your own age, who you share experiences with. But actually, what that demonstrated was sometimes if you spend time actually with younger people, that's beneficial, not just for the older people, but for the younger people as well. Because, you know, as families get more separated, young children don't always have grandparents that they can be with, and then they get an impression of what it's like to be older that isn't perhaps reflected in what older people are really feeling about themselves.
Absolutely. Well, Jackie, I am so excited about this event. I can't wait to hear more of what the panelists are going to say. Certainly the audience, we are going to be doing Facebook Live feed for that. So I'll invite everybody to send in their questions beforehand. We shall be posting it on YouTube. So we will definitely take in the opportunity to use everything and to our maximum capacity. And I'm certainly looking forward to meeting with you, with Sheila Robinson, with Karen West and Alison Beecham. And thank you very much to the Lunar Society for hosting this event, and to Housing 21 and for sponsoring it, and for the University of Birmingham for having us on the 18th of September at 5:30 at the University of Birmingham. Thank you, Jackie.
Pleasure.